Revised K-10 Curriculum, Quarter 2, Week 1, Mathematics 5. Good day everyone! This is the start of our Quarter 2, Week 1, Lesson 1, and our topic is dividing fractions using models. In your past lessons, you learned how to add, subtract, and multiply fractions. Now we will move a step further, learning how to divide fractions. At first, dividing fractions may look confusing, but with the help of visual models, such as fraction bars and area models, you'll see that it can actually be simple and fun. Remember, mathematics is not just about numbers, it is about understanding. So today, let us explore and visualize fractions together to make sense of how division works in the real world. Okay, so let us recall first the concept of division. When you say division, it is equal sharing. Okay, so it means splitting a number into equal parts or groups. Like for example, imagine you have something like candies, toys, or even slices of pizza, and you want to share them fairly. That's when division comes in. Okay, so let us read and analyze the given word problem. Jen is preparing identical loot bags for her birthday. She plans to give away the loot bags to street children. She has 135 pieces of goodies and 15 party bags. How many goodies must she put in each party bag? So how many groups of 15 are there in 135? Correct. The answer is 9. Okay? You are going to divide to find how many groups of 15 fit into 135. So 135 divided by 15, the answer is 9. So if we're going to check your answer, 15 times 9 is 135. Therefore, Jen must put 9 goodies in each loot bag. Let's try this activity. Suppose the given numbers in a division problem are fractions. How will you find the quotient? Correct. We can use models to find the quotient. Like for example, divide 2/3 by 1/3. Okay, what's the equation? 2/3 divided by 1/3 equals n. So here's a pie model showing how to divide 2/3 by 1/3. Okay, so the pie is divided into 3 equal slices. 2 slices are shaded to represent 2/3, and the other one represents 1/3. Okay, so each slice represents 1/3, and you can see that the 2 of these slices fit into the shaded portion. Okay, so again, how many thirds are in 2/3? Or how many thirds or 1/3 are there in 2/3? Yes, the answer is 2. So 2/3 divided by 1/3 equals 2. Before we continue, let me present to you the objectives of the lesson. So by the end of our lesson, you'll be able to represent division of fractions using models, explain the meaning of fraction divisions in real-life situations, and solve problems involving division fractions with confidence. Subtopic number 1, dividing fractions using models. So dividing of fractions using models helps you visualize and understand the concept of dividing one fraction by another. So this method often uses tools like number lines, area models, or strip diagrams to represent the fractions involved. And this visual approach builds conceptual understanding by showing division as repeated subtraction or partitioning. So it is also helpful, especially for pupils who struggle with abstract computation, as it connects mathematical operations to concrete representations. Like in the division of whole numbers, dividing fractions also means equal sharing or groupings or partitioning. Let us solve the following problem using models in number lines. Before that, let's read first the problem. A baker is making croissants. Each croissant is made from a 1/8 pound of dough. If the baker has a 3/4 pound of dough, how many croissants can he make? What's the problem all about? Okay, it's all about how many 8s or 1/8 are there in 3/4. And what is the equation? 3/4 divided by 1/8 equals n. Okay, so we're going to solve the problem using models. How would you show how many 1/8 there are in 3/4? Okay, of course, we're going to draw one rectangle. And we are going to divide this one into 4 equal parts. And 3 are shaded. And that represents 3/4. Okay, and from that 3/4, we are going to divide it into half to have 8 equal parts. Okay, and that has 6 shaded parts. That makes it into 6/8. So notice that 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. 3/4 and 6/8 are equivalent fractions. Okay, so if we're going to count 1/8, how many 1/8 are there in 6/8? Okay, there are 6. So there are 6/8 or 1/8 in 3/4. Therefore, the baker can make how many croissants? Yes, 6 croissants. Okay, so 3/4 divided by 1/8 equals 6. We can also use number line to solve the problem. Okay, show 3/4 and 8s on a number line. The first line or the first number line is divided into 4 equal parts or fourths. And the second number line is divided into 8 equal parts or eighths. Okay, so the red dot marks 3/4, which is the same as 6/8. Okay, so let us count the equal jumps of 8s on a number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 equal jumps of 8s on the number line. Therefore, the baker can make 6 croissants. So let's have more examples of division of fractions using models. Here's an explanation of how to divide fractions using a number line with example number 1, divide 4/8 by 1/8. This means that how many 1/8 parts are there in 4/8? So let's draw a number line from 0 to 1. So divide it into 8 equal parts since the denominator is 8. So each tick represents 1/8. So let's locate 4/8. So that is 4/8. Then count 4 ticks from 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You land on 4/8 or 1/2. So count how many 1/8 segments fit into 4/8. How many? Okay, so from 0 to 4/8, there are 4 segments of 1/8. So there are 4 1/8 in 4/8. So for example number 2, divide 1/2 by 1/4. We will use a fraction bar to illustrate the problem. So 1/2 divided by 1/4. So how many fourths or 1/4 are there in 1/2? Okay, so first we're going to draw a rectangle with 2 equal parts, and one part is shaded, and that represents 1/2. And then since we are going to divide it by 1/4, we're going to divide this one into 4 equal parts. So as you can see 2 1/4, and that is equal to 1/2. Okay, so there are 2 1/4 in 1/2. Therefore 1/2 divided by 1/4 is equal to 2. Example number 3, find the quotient 9/10 divided by 2/5 equals n. So let's illustrate the fractions 9/10 and 2/5. So we're going to use a strip. So we're going to divide this strip into 10 equal parts and 9 are shaded. So that represents 9/10. Another strip with 5 equal parts and 2 are shaded. Okay, that represents 2/5. Question. What can you say about the color blue and the color orange? That is 4/10 and 2/5. Are they equal? Notice that 2/5 is equal to 4/10 as shown in the illustration. So this is 2/5 and that is equivalent to 4/10. Okay, so 2/5 is equal to 4/10. So if we're going to convert 4/10 and divide it into 4 equal parts, okay, that is equivalent to 1 whole. So we can also have another 1 whole by 4/4. So another 1 whole, and then there's 1/4 left. That is 1 part of the 4/4, or 1 out of 4 equal parts. So therefore, if we are going to divide 9/10 by 2/5, the answer is 2 and 1/4 as shown in the illustration. Here's another illustration to solve the same division problem. 9/10 divided by 2/5. So count how many 2/5 there are in 9/10. So we have 2, okay? So 1 and 2 and then 1/4. So if 2/5 is divided into 4 equal parts, 1 part is 1/4 of 2/5. Therefore, there are 2 1/4 2/5 in 9/10. This means that 9/10 divided by 2/5 equals 2 and 1/4, or 9 out of 4, or 2 and 1/4 equivalent. Example number 4. Find the quotient 2/3 divided by 1/5 equals n. So how many 1/5 are there in 2/3? Using this illustration, we divided this rectangle into 3 equal parts and 2 are shaded. So that represents 2/3. And then we divided again into 5 equal parts horizontally, and that represents 1/5. So each part represents 1/5. So from that illustration, we divide 2/3 into 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the whole, 1/5 is made up of 3 parts. So 1/5 is equal to 3/15. Therefore, 2/3 divided by 1/5 equals 3 and 1/3. Example number 5. Find the quotient 1/2 divided by 3/4 equals n. So how many 3/4 are there in 1/2? Okay, so look at the illustration. We divided this into 2 equal parts, and 1 part is shaded, that represents 1/2. And then we will divide this into 4 equal parts. Okay, so the blue lines represents 3/4. So as you can see, 1/2 is 2/3 of 3/4. Okay, can you see that? Therefore, 1/2 divided by 3/4 equals 2/3. So, this time you are going to answer the lesson activity for sheet number 1. So, for lesson activity number 1, find the quotient using the number line. So, 6/7 divided by 1/7 equals n. Number 2, 9/10 divided by 3/10 equals n. Number 3, 5/8 divided by 5/16 equals n. And 4/5 divided by 2/15 equals n. Okay, you'll be given 5 minutes to do that. For activity number 2, find the quotient using a fraction bar. Number 1, 1/4 divided by 3/8 equals n. Number 2, 3/7 divided by 3/4 equals n. Number 3, 2/3 divided by 1/4 equals n. And the last one, 7/12 divided by 5/6 equals n. And for your formative assessment, answer the following questions through models. Letter A, divide 9/10 by 3/10. Letter B, how many 1/2 or halves are there in 7/4? Letter C, how many 3/4 are there in 6/8? And letter D, find the quotient of 1/4 divided by 5/6. Another question. In whole number division, a number divided by itself equals 1. Does this apply to fractions? Justify through an example.